Hey everybody, time now for the high school preview. What's going to happen in high school football in the state of Michigan here during week 6. And I can't believe we're already at week 6. We're going to have teams qualifying for the playoffs. It's unbelievable. Seems like we just got started. Tom Markowski here. And Tom, let's talk about a big game out on the west side of the state, of course. East Kentwood coming off a tough loss. They have to go back on the road, take on Hudsonville.
Well, Hudsonville lost one time earlier in the season, so they're both going into this game 4-1. And I have them in my picks column you can read on our website. But I think the winner of this game's got a great chance of winning the OK Red, which is always the division you talk about statewide, who's some of the best divisions, you know, right. Catholic League Central, OAA, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, East Kentwood coming off a 28-7 loss to Jenison, which when I first saw that, it was one of those scores you say, somebody got this wrong.
Right, you made me reread it.
Right,
Exactly.
So I went online and I read about the game, and they just basically laid an egg. It's one of those things, and hopefully for the Falcons, they can come back and, you know, show that, you know, they're as good as people thought they were going to be. But they got a tough road here playing at Hudsonville. I have Hudsonville in my top 25 all year long. I had them ranked quite high before they lost. I like Hudsonville in this game. I'm not sure East Kentwood's putting it together. I mean, I think this showed a chink in their armor, the loss to Jenison. I had seen them play against Farmington Hills Harrison early in the season. And they kind of, you know, eked one out there with 46 seconds left to win that one. So I'm going with Hudsonville on this one.
Okay, well, you know, it's one of these things, sometimes little adversity at this point in the season is good.
Right.
You rebound the last few games.
You don't know how teams react to losses. Some react well. You know, they look at themselves and say, this is what we need to fix. Other times they don't react well, like maybe we're not that good, and their confidence takes a hit.
Well, certainly the downriver has been a wild ride here this particular season. We know that we're always used to seeing Wyandotte, and of course Truman was a team that had been at the upper echelon. Melvindale.
When Eric Stiegel was there, who's now at Granville.
Exactly. And right now we've got a big game in the balance of power in the division. We have Allen Park at Trenton.
You know, Trenton, their rise to the top, because they are alone in first place, has been overshadowed by what Lincoln Park's been doing. We're talking about Lincoln Park here, Lincoln Park there.
That's right.
But Trenton, first time they're 5-0 since 2003.
And they look good doing it.
And they're playing very well. You know, Patrick Zarnecki, their quarterback, is doing quite well. They haven't played the big boys yet, so to speak. Allen Park being one of the big boys. I like Allen Park in this game. I know they lost to Wyandotte early in the season. That was at Wyandotte, so I'm going with the Jaguars.
It could be one of those games you really do throw out the records, and it's just going to be neighborhood pride, going at it.
You know, I thought it was going to be, once, you know, Allen Park lost to Wyandotte and you saw Trenton do well, I thought it'd be a 3-team race, but with Lincoln Park, we have 4 teams in that race.
And just like we mentioned, you know, having some adversity, and if Trenton goes through that right now, especially if they do it at home, it could even be homecoming week, I'm not sure.
Yeah, sometimes those are distractions.
Absolutely, no question about it. Ask Orchard Lake St. Mary's.
Right.
All right, let's talk about our final game that we want to preview, and that is in the MAC Red, and that is Romeo, a very good Romeo team, going to Macomb, Dakota, and Dakota still, I believe, trying to figure out their identity. They came back with a big win last week.
Well, yeah, they did have a big win last week. Of course, they defeated Chippewa Valley early in the season too. Yeah. And I think maybe the deciding factor in this game is 2 reasons. One, Dakota's playing at home. They're awfully tough to beat at their place. Secondly, they play a tougher schedule than Romeo. Granted, Romeo has the better record, but they play in the white. I call Romeo the pink team. They're in between white and red. And they're very good, and they probably should be in the red, especially how well they're playing this year. But it's just the nature of the beast. If you don't play good competition throughout the season, what are you going to do against that really big team like Dakota is? I like Dakota.
You like Dakota at home?
Yes.
Do you think home is the main reason here, or is it just the fact that it's strength of schedule?
I think a combination of both. And no offense to Romeo, it might come down to Dakota just might be better. You could play on a neutral field, and I'd probably still take Dakota.
And we're keeping a close eye on the running back, Kaiser Carlton. He's having a great season and could find his way into the Hungry Howie's Mr. Football race.
Yeah, if he keeps out, he's had some really good numbers. So we've got to keep an eye on him.
All right, so Bulldogs, there's your there's your mantra. Here's your bulletin board material. Go put that up there. We'll see how you do against Macomb, Dakota. Remember, all those games that we talked about will be found on either State Champs, which airs Sundays at 9 a.m., a full hour this week. First time we've ever done a full hour of State Champs.
Exciting stuff.
Absolutely, 9 a.m. on Fox Sports Detroit. And or you can catch the football highlights on Extra Point, which is the Southeast Michigan only, just pure high school football show, Sundays at 11:30 on WXYZ. And I must say that tune in at 11 because Tom Markowski and I will be guests on Channel 7's Sports Cave. So we'll be talking high school football and other stuff live. So check that out. And then, of course, stick around for Extra Point. Thanks.